Shut down. Shut down, shut down, shut down. The government shutdown is still in effect. This is the 31st day that the government has uh, been in this partial shutdown, affecting so many people, so many workers, so many lives in the United States. Um, it's easy to say, it's easy to judge, right? It's easy to say, oh, this is not affecting me, or those people should have, been well prepared. But there's a lesson to learn in this, there's a lesson to learn in this. But I personally think that when people say and judge, because I've seen both sides. I've seen and not seen, but well, yeah, I've seen and heard both sides of the spectrum. On one side, people are saying the shutdown is necessary, because of the cause, because of building the wall and immigration issues. And there's another aspect to it where you have people who are, in need, the vulnerable, those who are vulnerable and suffer disabilities, etc. And, children and families, even working families. There's certain people who work who still receive benefits, are getting affected too, adversely. How do you prepare for something like this? Is this an opportunity for people to start to think about, creating their own ways of earning income, starting a business? The part about that's a bit difficult is when you start businesses, you have to wait until you make a profit. It takes a while for you to generate profit, and people need to eat today. People need to pay their bills today. People are behind. People are afraid of being evicted from their home. So to say that someone needs to start a business is okay. It's fair, but when you're in a situation where you're in an immediate need, it's daunting, scary. It's something that I'm keeping my eyes on very closely, because even people who work, let's say you're not working for the government, for example, and you have a job, private company or nonprofit, whatever, and you're a taxpayer and you're expecting to get your tax refund check. That may be delayed because IRS workers are not, the force is not full right now. So many have been let go, and there are those, they say, that IRS workers are working without a paycheck. So imagine how disenfranchised and discouraged a person can be. You're working, you're somewhere, you're working, and you're not receiving a paycheck. And there's talks about people who are working not getting retroactive pay for the time that they weren't getting paid for something that was kind of done to them and is out of their control. Imagine 31 days, you have a family, you have responsibilities, you have bills to get paid, and they're not getting paid. They're not, you're not taking care of your normal everyday affairs properly because the income that you depend on is not coming in. So it's this thing of independence and dependence. That relationship is something that a person really has to scrutinize. How do you save for a rainy day when you do have that income coming in? How are you able to pretty much be in a space where you have some type of reserve set aside to live off of? I can only imagine what people are doing right now. I could only imagine. Man. Like you're going day by day. The light bill, the mortgage, the rent. You have children, so they have to be fed. what is going on. You know, God forbid someone, that you get sick or your family members get sick. How are you taking care? What, you just gonna go to the ER and then expect to, get the bill whenever? It's just a mess. It's a mess. And the media. One thing about the media too, the media, it serves a purpose, but sometimes there's a bunch of fear mongering that's created by the media if you're not careful, because the media will give you all types of information and it'll just stress you out. It will stress you out. It will stress you out. So because all you're seeing is there's no end in sight. The shutdown began December 22nd. Here it is, January 23rd. And it's still going. It's a partial shutdown, but for some, it's a full, complete shutdown. Could you imagine? You work for the government, you're thinking you have a stable job, benefits, career. There's an element of permanence that comes with the job, and all of a sudden you're told, you can't come to work, and it's not your fault. Or if you're every month you depend on a fixed income by way of Social Security, for disability or whatever, and you're told that's not coming, that's not happening. These early benefits that were doled out last week by way of SNAP, okay, well then people don't know how to save money, people don't know how to spend money properly. Next month, if this continues, it's going to be a mess, because they're saying that the checks, as far as SNAP, the monies that people receive for SNAP benefits, aka food stamps, those who received it early last week need to really understand that they're not going to see anything else until March. Last week was the middle of the month. So you're talking about 2 weeks in the rest of the January and 4 weeks in February. So 6 weeks people have to use whatever early benefits they received to stretch out for 6 weeks. And that's just with the hope that, everything gets resolved by then, and, they can see something, they can see their next payment in March. It's crazy, people. It's crazy. These are times that very bizarre. Very, very, very bizarre. Be safe out there, folks. Be safe. Be safe.